Hello brew tubers and welcome to this brew day video. Quite an exciting brew day today. I'm using a hop I wanted to brew with for ages, so it's a brand new hop for me and also actually a brand new malt, so all new exciting ingredients. I've actually had to get the hop imported from Belgium. It's a French hop called Barbe Rouge. There we go, 8.4%. I had this in like a saison beer, I think it was, a few years ago. I think it was Leeds Brewery or somewhere up there brewed it, and it was a fantastic beer. Real strong strawberry and cherry flavours from the hops. Lots of red berry notes from the hoppage. And I've always wanted to brew with this hop since. So yeah, I've actually had to get this imported from Belgium, as I said. French hop, 8.4%. So I'm going to marry that up with a malt called Red X, which I believe is like a combination of different malts, but it's supposed to make a really nice, well, red coloured beer. So I think, yes, I'll be making sort of a strawberry cherry flavoured red beer. Sounds quite a good idea, I thought. I'm going to call it Red Rouge because I'm using Red X malt and Barbe Rouge hops, so Red Rouge seemed to be an appropriate sort of name for it. So yes, making a 40 litre batch. I'll use SO4 to ferment with, I reckon. RO water is just coming up to temperature, and I'll be using my new set of miniature scales to weigh up the water additions in a moment. I'm using the Brewfather app just to get that all sorted out. So yes, exciting. As soon as that hits temperature, we'll get cracking. I think I'm doing a 3-step mash-in, so I think half an hour at 53 degrees Celsius, then half an hour at 64, I think, something like that, and then an hour at or hour and a half at 70 degrees. So I want to get some sweeter flavours from the wort. So yes, we'll crack on. Right, so then, water additions. So Brewfather says for the mash tun I need 2.67 grams of calcium chloride. It's 2.63. 2.77, close enough. And next, 5.13 of Epsom salts. That's 2.2. 4.8. 5.17 is close enough. And then 9.97 of gypsum. I might do this in a 5. There you go, so that's 5. Do another 5. Oh, and we're up to temperature as well. Perfect. So the first 1.5 kilograms going into the mash tun. Right, I'll carry on with this and I'll see you once I've put all the grains in. So we're all mashed in now, as you can see. It does look like it is a combination malt. Now that it's mashed in, you can see different coloured grains and stuff. So yes, we'll give this, I think, half an hour at 53 degrees Celsius and then ramp up to the next temperature. So just some correction to the mashing schedule, as I informed you completely wrong. So it is 15 minutes at 50 degrees Celsius, then half an hour at 63 degrees Celsius, and then 1 hour at 70 degrees Celsius. And also the water additions for the Sparge HLT thingy tank were pretty much the same as the ones for the kettle. Was at 2.6 calcium chloride, 5 grams thereabouts of Epsom salt, and then about 10 grams of gypsum. So that's gone into there, similar as to what went in the kettle. So that is the mash over, and just onto the sparge there. Really good. So we'll get that sparge and then start the boil. So just coming up to the start of the boil and spraying it to keep the foam under control. Lovely colour. So at the start of the boil, 1 hour boil. First top addition, 20 grams of Barbe Rouge. There we go. So 30-minute hop additions, 20 grams more of Barbe Rouge. Last 15 minutes of the boil, 1 Protofloc tablet. Keep an eye on that. And 40 grams of Barbe Rouge. Just get that sprayed to stop it from boiling over. I think we've left the comfort of the hop spider there. Keep spraying. I think that's about under control. So let that boil off and then 1 more hop addition. And last hop additions for a minute or 2, and another 20 grams of Barbe Rouge. So waiting for the fermenter sample to cool down to 20 degrees Celsius, and the hydrometers I'm using me. So that is the end of brew day. The gravity reading has been taken and the wort transferred to the fermenters. Pretty much all tidied up as well, which is good. The only thing I have to do is switch the electricity back on in the brew shed, because when I went to switch on the internal pump on the kettle, it shorted everything out and the fuse thing flipped. So yes, I'll switch that off, so I need to go and switch that back on again in a minute. But yes, good brew day, as I said. That Red X malt is actually really pleasant to work with. Beautiful colour in the kettle. And yeah, in terms of like sparging and mashing, yeah, the recirculation was really good, and the sparging was a doddle as well. So yeah, really pleasant using that malt. So yeah, look forward to next time. The Barbe Rouge hop didn't really smell fantastic. It just smelled hoppy. So you know, sometimes when you use something like Citra and you know those sort of hops, you get an eruption of aroma in the brew shed, but nothing really with this one. So we'll see how it goes. That's noise in the background, by the way. It's the ice machine just making ice. Anyway, yes. Gravity was 1.046. I was aiming for 1.052, however I did collect about 5 or 6 litres extra work than I was supposed to. I did oversparge, so it's something to be mindful of next time, but that will still give me a 4.1% beer instead of 4.6, but 4.1's fine. Mostly see how the yeast behaves using SO4 yeast, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, pretty much it really. Pretty much it. I'm going to have a pint of my reject Citra and Mosaic, which is actually quite nice. I seem to remember I did 2 of these. One with USO5 yeast, which turned out very well, and I've sold a few bottles. Very clean, very orangey. And this was Liberty Bell ale yeast, which is alright, it's pleasant. I only got to 3.8% though, whereas the other one went to 4.6, but it's actually a very nice sessionable beer. Actually it is very good. A bit bitter, more bitter than the other one, but still very tasty. Anyway, I'll enjoy that now that brew day's over, and I shall see you again soon. This is probably going to be a grain to glass, I think, so you might see me for tasting next. Exciting. So then, brew tubers, it is the glass part of this grain to glass video. I brewed the beer on the 21st of February and it is now the 11th of April, so it's had a fair bit of conditioning time. The beer ended up at 4%, which is lower than I had hoped for. The recipe should have been 4.6%, but as you just saw, I didn't hit my original gravity, and I was a point or 2 above my final gravity as well, so didn't quite work out, unfortunately. But never mind, I've still got a beer out of it. Going to be doing a little bit of a head-to-head as well. So I've got some keg conditioned bottled beer, so bottled off the keg, and I have some bottle conditioned beer as well. So it'll be interesting to see how the two compare. So without further ado, let's crack them both open. Or is that really just an excuse to drink 2 lots of beer? I'll never tell. Right, so this is the keg conditioned one. Haven't got any labels yet for it, so let's crack it open. This is a sample bottle, as you might be able to see. You can't. Yeah, we're a bit low, hence why it's a sample bottle. It's not quite the full 500 millilitres. Using my rather naughty bottle opener. So yes, crack that open. So there is the keg conditioned. Let's try and put that bottle down without falling over. There we go. So as you can see, it is a red hue to it, but still quite sort of brown and amber. And the clarity is, well, quite frankly, it's pants. For a beer which has been conditioning for over a month, I thought it would be a bit clearer than that. I've got that one. Let's do the bottle conditioned one. I did bottle condition a fair bit of beer. This is basically all that was left in the fermenter after I finished kegging, so good history to it. I'm just going to pour it over here because it's quite difficult otherwise. Alright, then put the lid back on. And that's the bottle conditioned. So difference is, bottle conditioned is probably slightly better carbonated. And you know what, I reckon it's clearer as well. This looks, obviously it's a bigger glass, but it does look redder. I mean, it's still hazy, but it does seem to be a little bit clearer, I think. Not much in it though. Aroma. Again, the bottle condition probably has a slight more strawberry aroma to it. Strawberry cherry aroma. The aroma on this is pretty non-existent. I might have to disrupt it a bit, but anyway, let's go in for the tasting. So, take conditions first. Fairly malty actually. And it's a little sweet as well. I've already adjusted the recipe. It needs more bittering addition and a dry hop aroma. So I have added that to the recipe, so it's actually quite cold. Let's go with the bottle conditioned one. Again, fundamentally the same. Quite malty. I suppose there are hints of strawberry and cherry, but it's not quite as obvious as I wanted it. So shame about the clarity as well. So that's been a month now and it's still very, very hazy. But yes, those strawberry cherry notes are there. So it's sweet maltiness as well. It's not bad, but there's room for improvement for sure. In terms of bottle v keg, there's not much in it, but I'd say the bottle condition is slightly sweeter and a little more mellow, but there's not a lot in it really. So, final thoughts really on it. It's okay. Additional bitterness and a dry hop addition will make it better. No doubt about that. And obviously hitting my original gravity would help as well. As I say, it's a 4% beer, not a 4.6% beer, so yeah, it's okay. I can do better. So I will try again. as for this, I probably will sell the bottles I've got. So I've got about, I think I've got like 58 bottles, so it's good enough to sell, but the next batch will be better. It's enjoyable enough. Just could do with a bit more balance, just make it a little bit more bitter, as it's a fairly sweet beer. And some improvement on the aroma will certainly help it along. And if I could do anything about the clarity, no, that would be ideal, because as I said, it's fairly murky. Well, that has been a month now, so I can't imagine it getting any clearer. Oh, it might do, you know how these things work out. I'll try again, but as it is, it's a good beer. It's all right. So that's always, you know, a promising start for a new recipe. Let's had a slight adjustment, and I think we'll be on to a winner. So yes. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you again soon. Hopefully in the next few days we'll have a brewing video or two. I'm hoping to brew a New England IPA style beer, and probably a Citra Mosaic as well, because it's coming to spring summertime, and that will sell quite well, and I've got the labels for it as well, so yes, I'll probably aim to do that. Anyway, au revoir.